Good evening. Welcome to the Murder Mukbang Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Brittany.
Tonight we have another serial killer for you that takes place in Japan, hence the sushi. So we, I don't know if it's the fact that Japan might have a lot of killers or the fact that we always just want to eat sushi.
I think
that's why we choose these videos.
Yeah, I think it's more of we just want to eat sushi.
Yeah, I think so too. So this is tonight's case is a relatively recent case, happened within the past, 5 years? 4 or 5 years?
Yep, 2017.
Yeah, so, and that case is the case of Takahiro Shirashi.
Shirashi or Shirishi, I've heard both ways on videos.
He's best known as the Twitter killer. So this story is actually really short. So Brittany and I are just going to kind of talk a little bit about our delicious food that we have tonight.
Yeah.
So this is not the same sushi that we get from our regular place. We had to go with a different place tonight. So we're actually going to do kind of like a comparison.
Yeah. It looks really pretty. And I like that they didn't give us so many, like, California rolls and...
avocado rolls.
Yeah, and avocado and cucumber rolls.
I do wish there was a little bit more. Like, there's not any spicy tuna on here. The spicy tuna is one of my favorites.
There's one good right here. This is tuna of some sort, but there's, like, I think this is also tuna. I think this is the fatty tuna. I don't know. I just eat it.
I don't know either.
If I tend to not like it after I put it in my mouth already, I just finish it anyway.
That's what she said. So, anyways. Oh, goodness. I probably put way too much wasabi on here.
I need some of that wasabi.
They only gave us one container. This is sushi for 2. So I guess they assume that it's. Oh.
Let's try this one. Which one did you have?
The salmon roll.
Oh.
That's good.
It's good?
Very good.
So, ooh, that wasabi is good. Oh, it's spicy.
Are we just gonna sit here and be quiet as we eat the whole time?
It's so good though. It's so good. So nothing really crazy happened at work this week, I guess.
Yeah, right. Are you kidding me? But you told me I wasn't allowed to talk about that, so I'm not going to.
We're not, because we have, coworkers that watch our videos, and we don't need to be starting no shit on our YouTube channel.
Well.
Just saying.
Oh, just crazy people.
You should try that one, even though you don't like the sashimi that much.
Okay. I will.
Okay. So, in case we have not mentioned to you guys yet, Ashley is going to be moving.
Are we telling people this?
I mean, we kind of have to do it soon, so they're prepared. I'm not gonna give you details, but she's gonna be moving.
Because I don't have details.
She's going into a witness protection program.
No, I'm not. Stop that. Yes, I am moving. We have not figured out what we're going to do as far as videos go. So,
Murder Mukbang might
be coming to an end.
Yeah.
Here soon.
We'll still try to do things sometimes, but it's definitely not going to be like
when you come visit me?
If you don't fucking go to Alaska, bitch.
I can't control that.
That's so far away.
I can't control that.
I know you can't.
Wow. Okay, anyways.
Is this the eel?
I guess.
I think it is. This missed it.
Oh. My bad.
That's why you didn't know it was eel.
That's eel. Okay. All right. Do we want to talk about our story?
Sure.
Okay.
Since we kind of just glossed over that, but yeah, we're gonna try to continue to maybe make videos every once in a while, but
Because I don't want to talk about it because it makes me sad.
She gets sad.
Shut up. What difference does it make if I get sad? Okay, I get sad. I don't want to think about it because I'm leaving. Whatever. We're moving on.
Moving on. Don't want her to get all sensitive about it now. All right, so the Twitter killer, Takahiro Shiraishi, or how did you say it?
Shirashi?
Shirashi or Shirishi. I'm not sure which one it is. So at the time of
Whew, that wasabi. Whew.
yeah, you get too much
Sorry
in
about
there. Too much for you. It makes you clear out everywhere. Anyway, so he was a 30-year-old Japanese man when all of this took place. And he was also known as the Twitter killer. We already said that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he found his victims on Twitter. So he was known to his neighbors as like a really quiet and kind and polite person.
Yeah.
Which they always are.
Uh-huh.
Like,
You can't ever trust them.
do we need to talk about how charismatic Ted Bundy was? Like, nobody suspected him. Or pretty much any of the other major serial killers. Like, if you talk to people that were close to them, their coworkers, their neighbors.
I never would have expected it from him.
Yeah, they had no idea. Anyway, so he was a pretty quiet person. Nobody ever had any issues with him. Well, there was signs when he was young. Oh, bug. There was signs. There was a little gnat trying to attack me. There was signs when he was younger of, weird behavior. When he was in grade school, he had a friend that they used to play the choking game together.
The choking game. Like, this is an actual game.
I've heard of this before. My cousins,
What?
Yeah, my cousins used to play this.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. You would choke somebody out to the point of them passing out or nearly passing out. And they did it for fun. Like,
No.
it was just a fun thing. Anyway, so he and his friend, they played this game, as young preteens. So prior to living in Zama, which is where the murders took place, he actually lived in Tokyo. And one of his first jobs was recruiting for sex trafficking,
I
pretty
made a
much.
huge mess on my shirt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So he worked for, sex trafficking rings, and he would recruit these girls to become prostitutes off of Twitter. What's funny? Story. So he was working for these people that would pick up these girls from Twitter and pull them into sex trafficking and to become prostitutes. He was starting to become known around the Tokyo area that he, lived as the creepy scout. Like, people started to recognize him, and he got in trouble for it. He was arrested on February 2017 for his work in the prostituting ring. After he did his time.
Yeah.
I guess. And it wasn't a lot of time. Like, I think he was able to, if he stayed out of trouble, he wouldn't have to finish his jail sentence. I think that's, for some reason, that's coming to my mind. Like, he was given 3 years or something, but if he had stayed out of trouble for so ever long, then he wouldn't have to do any jail time.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. So he actually moved to Zama in August because he could no longer afford to live in Tokyo. He wasn't able to find a job anymore because he was scouting for
people.
prostitutes. So he wasn't able to find work. So he had to move in with his dad in Zama, Japan. At this point, while he was living with his dad, he returned to Twitter for a much darker purpose than just to recruit prostitutes.
Yeah.
He actually had 5 Twitter accounts at one point.
Okay, I am sorry. I don't understand how somebody can have 5 Twitter accounts. I can't even remember the password for one account. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess you use the same password for each one, but then you get the security thing of, oh, you need to change your password, and you can't use previous passwords. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He probably...
Damn it. Oh, God, I failed at this.
Get it together
I am failing at this tonight.
He probably had, like, all of this shit written down in, like, a notebook or something. Like, all of the usernames.
Like a normal person?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he tried to remember 5 different accounts. Or maybe he did. You know, he was kind of a smart person, so... Anyways, so he had 5 Twitter accounts, and we'll see if Ashley could put up a picture of the one Twitter account that he actually recruited most of his victims from. That's gonna make a mess. So he had comments on this Twitter account that said, "It's not hard to hang oneself, and if you cannot help yourself, I can help you." He said at his trial that he would search for these people that he knew were not mentally stable. He would prey on them. He would find them. He would search keywords like depression and suicide and anxiety and things like that. And then he would start these relationships and start talking to these people until they trusted him. And then he would convince them to either kill themselves or let him kill them. And then he would sometimes create like these suicide pacts with these victims, saying, if you allow me to help you kill yourself, then I will in return kill myself and we can die together. So briefly, I want to mention that Japan has one of the highest suicide rates in the entire world. And it's been like that for a long time.
They kind of decreased their numbers a little bit back in like 2018 or 2019 or something like that. But then when COVID hit, those numbers actually went up greatly. Like so much so that there were more suicides than there were deaths of COVID in 2020, which is crazy. There's a lot riding, like there's a lot that people don't understand with like the Japanese culture, just like the high expectations of
to do good academically and, you know,
socially, and just very like
there's a lot of pressure there.
A lot of pressure
on children, especially, to be, you know, as perfect as they can be. And also, mental health is not really you know, research. I mean, it's research there, but a majority of the population in Japan, they don't believe in mental health. They don't believe in you're depressed, you can get better, you're doing it to yourself. Like, they don't.
They're not the ones. They're not the ones who are like trying to turn to like medication to solve the problems. It's just you deal with it and you get over it. You move on.
So, it's a very sad thing in Japan. Maybe eventually we'll maybe do a video on the suicide forest, because that's always been something that I've researched a lot. It's a very interesting and sad, very sad forest over there. So anyway, continue with the story. Let's see. He actually had one victim believing that he was some kind of spiritual leader, and convinced her that he would help her end her life and go to a higher like purpose or whatever. All of the victims were females ranging from the ages of 15 to 26. Yeah, I was having some hiccups. So all young females, they all looked the same. He only had one male victim, and the only reason he actually killed this male victim was because he came and was looking for his girlfriend, which she was already dead. Takahiro had already killed her. So he did have one male victim. Let's see. He murdered 8 women in Zama, Japan from August 2017 to October 2017. So that's only a couple months, and he murdered that many people. Like, that's almost one a week. And
yeah,
that's a lot. Like, normally serial killers sometimes will have a lot longer of a break in between their crimes. But Takahiro was like, fuck no, I'm gonna get one a week. That's about to be me. Psycho. Anyways, so once he had convinced these women that to meet him and that he would help them in their lives and in their suffering, he would meet up with them and bring them back to his house. And I don't know if you put in any of your notes, but the apartment that he was living in, that he moved out of his dad's house into this apartment in August, which is when he started killing all of these women. The apartment that he moved into was paid for by one of his victims.
Oh, yeah. They were going to move in together or something like that?
Yeah, they'd been talking for a couple of months, and he had convinced her to move in with him, and that he was in love with her, and they were going to start this life together. So he borrowed some money from his dad because his funds were, not there because he was unemployed, because he was a gross degenerate. Anyway, so he borrowed a little bit of money from his dad to move into this apartment, but a majority of the money came from this girl. So he had moved into the apartment first, and she had came and visited him a few times, and he was going to actually kill her before she even moved in.
Yep.
But one of the times that she came and visited him, she had another friend with her.
Oh, yeah, a male
friend. And he got upset about that because he wanted to kill her that day.
Yeah, but that was the guy that he did end up killing.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so it was the first victim, his first victim's friend. I mean, I assume that it was probably boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gray area. Yeah, it's kind of a gray area. Like
a lot of the Japanese cases get lost in translation because most of them are written initially in Japanese, and the articles that we find have been crudely translated to English. So once he actually had so this girl was about to move in with him in August, and the day that she moved into that apartment was the last day that anybody ever saw her alive. So he used this girl to get an apartment and then continued with his killing spree. But once he would get these girls back to his place, he would give them alcohol, give them sleeping pills, he even gave them fucking tranquilizers. Once they were incapacitated, he would rape them. All of them were raped. And then he had a lot of the articles said that he would strangle them until they were dead. But I read one, and I also watched another video that said the apartment that he had was a loft situation. Like, it was like a studio apartment, and then it had a bedroom and a loft upstairs. It said in the articles that I read and the videos that I read that he actually would hang them from the loft.
Yeah, so I heard that as well, too. But there were, I think there was evidence of strangulation, not just hanging. Like, I think he hung some of the girls, and then other girls he strangled to death.
Could you imagine living in that house? Like, I don't know if anybody's in that house now.
I don't think so. No. The video that I watched today actually said that there was not anybody living in that house.
It's so creepy because I would just always be looking up at that spot that
knowing
somebody was hanging.
Died.
Yeah, that somebody was hanging from.
Ugh, gosh, that's horrible.
And he would just literally just watch them.
Then that's when you get
until
a grudge
they died.
type situation, you know. Okay.
Anyway. So after he would kill them, he would start dismembering their bodies. He would cut the flesh off of their bones and slowly throw it away in the trash every day. And he had neighbors that were like, yeah, he was at the trash can a lot, like multiple times a day. But we just figured he just moved in, so he just had a lot of boxes. No, he was throwing away chunks of meat.
If you ever notice your neighbor going to the trash can a lot, go inspect those bags.
Yeah.
Don't just assume that
once it's in the dumpster, you guys,
it's free game.
It's public domain. And if you feel suspicious about some shady ass character going to the trash can, 4 times a day, just check it out. Because there may be
a body in there.
Human remains in there, and it's a possibility. So he cut little pieces, and remember, he killed 9 people, so and it would take him like 3 days to dismember a body. So he would just be cutting off, like, this hadn't been happening every day.
Oh, yeah.
He dismembered all these people in his bathroom. So they would just be, the bodies would just be in the tub, and slowly every day he would just be cutting off pieces of meat and throwing it away in his trash. And then he kept the bones.
Yeah, there were like over 200.
Yeah.
200 bones or something like that. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I don't know why he would have kept the bones
either. There's over
either.
200 bones in the human body.
Yeah.
So
maybe he threw away like the hands whole or something, or like
maybe.
the feet, because there's like 50 bones in your fucking hand.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
So maybe he just cut like the big pieces of meat off.
I don't know.
Leave it up to your own judgment, you guys. He threw away most of the flesh in the trash can.
Okay. Okay, so Takahiro's last victim had posted on her Twitter account that she wanted to kill herself, and she was looking for somebody to help her do that. So, of course, he, I guess, I'm not really sure if he contacted her or if she contacted him, but he's definitely looking and trolling these people who are posting depressing things on their Twitter account.
Yeah.
So, after her disappearance, this last victim's disappearance, her brother actually logged into her Twitter account, and found the whole, like, all of the conversations between, Takahiro and her. And so he then was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then he goes looking for her. Well, actually, okay, so wait. What had happened was there was a Twitter user, I'm sorry, this is kind of important. There was another Twitter user who actually contacted the brother of this last victim and said, informed him about this guy, Takahiro, and everything like that. And she said, the brother was able to convince her to, like, contact Takahiro. And so then Takahiro and this other person decided to meet up at the train station. So when there were police, so the brother contacted police and said, I need help with this. The police were actually there at the train station hiding, waiting for Takahiro to show up. And then, when he was there, I guess met the person, and then he was like, meet me back at my apartment. And so he goes to the apartment, and the police knock on the door. And, they're asking about where these women are, and he's like, oh, they're in my coolers.
Yeah, just so
nonchalant. They're just over here in this.
in the cooler.
Yeah. It was just crazy to me.
Shit
Like, there
myself.
was just no, like, there was nothing that, like, he just like, oh, well, I guess I knew that I was going to get caught eventually, so here it is, and I'm going to try to hide it. So, he then told the police, like, I guess during his interview and everything like that, he said he took up to 3 days to dismember the bodies. And then, then that one victim, whose friend came looking for her, he had to kill him to cover up the murders. And when the police were actually doing more of their investigation, that is when they found 9 heads stored in, like, toolboxes and in coolers. So he kept all of the heads, which is weird, because why would you do that? Why would you dismember the entire body and then just keep the heads? Is that his trophy that he's wanting?
I think the heads might have been his trophy.
Oh.
Because they didn't really find any personal effects. Well, they did find that bag.
They found a bag, and that's what police asked, where is the owner of this bag? And that's when he was like, in the cooler.
But he didn't have, like, trophies, like normal trophies, like
jewelry or
hair,
right,
or
a shirt or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Underwear, things
underwear,
like that.
So Takahiro, after his arrest and before his trial, he actually had to go under some mental health evaluations, and he went through that for about 5 months. He did 5 months worth of psych evals, which is just that's a long ass time.
That is a long evaluation.
Yeah, that's very long. So the prosecutors wanted him to be put to death, while the defense wanted him to be convicted of murder.
Assisted suicide.
Yeah, basically murder with consent.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's like, I don't know, because that's not what, like, I don't think that's right for the defense to say that, because he wasn't assisting them. I mean, he was, I guess, but, like,
yeah, but then
he didn't keep his word to those people, and he strangled them and raped them. Like,
yeah, and then he even in the trial, he was like, no, that's bullshit. I did that without their consent. Like,
yes, yeah. So
he wanted the death penalty.
He said the women were unconscious and I did this to them. They had no consent whatsoever. And like, I think he definitely wants to die. Like, I think there's something definitely wrong with him, and he wants to not be living anymore. So some of the victims he did feel sorry for. I don't know how he picked and chose which victims. Do you know?
The ones that he spent more time with.
Yeah. And then he said, however, there were the victims that he did not have any regret. And he also said that he would not be regretting anything if he had not been caught.
Yep.
So,
he would continue to do it.
So again, it's like, oh, you got caught. And so now you're like, now I have to have regret towards it. And then no.
Yeah.
So on December 15th, 2020, Takahiro was actually sentenced to death by hanging. And in Japan, hanging is how the death penalty is carried out.
Yep. There's no electric chair. There's no lethal injection.
Oh,
you are fucking hung.
Could you imagine?
And on top of that, the people that are on death row in Japan do not know until the day they are being hung.
Yep.
So you just wake up in the morning, eat breakfast like normal, and they're just like,
oh, hey, today's the day you're going to die.
Today's the day. You're fucking dead. So that is,
well,
kudos to Japan.
Yeah.
Because that's a scary fucking death penalty, if you ask me.
By hanging, too. That's horrible.
I mean, hanging in certain ways is one of the quickest and most painless ways because it instantly breaks your neck.
Not necessarily.
But not all the time does it break your neck. Sometimes you...
See, that's what I wouldn't want to do.
Sometimes it doesn't, and then it can take you up to 7 minutes to die from hanging.
Yeah. Who was the killer that we did? Wesley Allen Dodd?
Yeah, that wanted to be hung.
He wanted to be hung.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, just something interesting is that Takahiro has actually expressed that he wishes to get married while he is in jail. So he is definitely looking for a female companion to help him.
Anybody out there want to fill those shoes?
Right. Well, there are sickos. Look at the woman who married Ted Bundy. We just did somebody else recently that Richard Ramirez.
Yep.
And his crazy woman.
Takahiro does have women.
A fan base?
Yeah, he does have a fan base.
Well, okay. That's it. So we are awaiting his execution.
Yep.
And that's our story on the Twitter killer tonight.
Takahiro Shirashi.
I'm just glad we did it because we got to eat sushi.
I know. I don't know about eating this one. You eat that one.
I don't want to eat that one. I don't want to. I'm actually really full.
I'm really full too, but I think you should eat that one.
I'm not going to eat that one. I don't want to eat that one. It does not look appetizing to me.
But look how pretty the skin is. It's striped.
No, I don't. You eat it then.
I'll eat one if you eat one.
No, I don't want to eat one. I'm done. If I eat any more, I'm going to throw up.
This was actually kind of a weird texture.
It looks like a bad texture. I don't want to eat it. I'm done. Food is over for me.
I don't know what this is. I don't think these are the ones I like.
Anyways, thanks for watching the Murder Mukbang show.
Sorry if this was a weird video this week.
Yeah, we're just It's been a difficult week for us, okay? I'm just gonna say that once. And that's it.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching the Murder Mukbang Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Brittany.
I don't know why I'm
Again?
doing this again. You kill him. God, I fail. You kill him.
We grill 'em.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye, guys.